There's a sensitive matter, highly, deeply sensitive matter that I need to talk to you.
Sounds serious.
It is. It could change things completely.
Don't keep me in suspense.
How do I put this into words?
How about Robert? You have a daughter.
Oh, where do I even begin? It's like the writers are just tossing out whatever nonsense they can dream up without even trying to make it remotely coherent. Seriously, do they even remember their own storylines anymore? Because last I checked, Sasha and Holly have crossed paths before, and nothing. Not a glance, not a word, not a whisper of recognition. And now, suddenly, we're supposed to believe this whole Sasha might be Holly's daughter thing. Please, if they're going to keep throwing out curveballs like this, they should at least try to make it make sense. And speaking of things that make no sense, Nina and Drew? Never thought I could actively dislike a character as much as I do those two. But hey, here comes Holly, hot on their heels for the title of most annoying. I can't even begin to understand why the writers thought it was a good idea to put Sasha and Cody together, only to tear that apart for what exactly? It's honestly becoming a chore to watch. It honestly feels like the writing team is in over their heads. Are they recruiting toddlers to help with the storytelling? Nothing is easy to follow anymore. It's like they're just making it up as they go along, hoping something sticks. And can we talk about the constant reinvention of characters? Like, why bother bringing back legacy characters if you're just going to change them completely? Tracy Q is a perfect example. She returns to town to announce Luke's death, and then boom, she's a completely different person. It's like they took everything we loved about her and threw it in the trash. So sad to see a show I used to love go down the drain like this. But hey, I'll stick around until I'd honestly rather watch paint dry. Just to clarify, I'm not saying I don't like Tracy, I'm just saying the character they've turned her into is a far cry from the Tracy Q we all grew up with. Now, let's talk about Sasha being Robert's daughter. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Holly is clearly jealous of Robert and Diane's relationship, and honestly, I wouldn't put it past her to say and do anything to break them up and keep Robert all to herself. Honestly, at this point, Holly and Sidwell should just ride off into the sunset together, because this whole Sasha is my daughter thing is as flimsy as it gets. Just because Holly says it doesn't make it true. I'm actually hoping the DNA test Robert and Sasha are about to do comes back negative, just to end this mess once and for all. And seriously, can we get a break with the revolving door of characters leaving? First, Michael Finn, now Jophiel, Violet. Violet's gone through more trauma in the past 5 years than most people go through in a lifetime. She deserves better than this constant upheaval. My heart also broke for Brooklyn. But at least she knew taking care of Violet was temporary. She had some clarity there. Meanwhile, Christina sigh. She'll never learn when to just zip it and listen to her parents. She's an adult, but that doesn't mean she should get to avoid the consequences of her actions. If she doesn't listen to them, let her deal with the fallout herself. At least there was a sweet moment with Tracy and Laura on Friday. But I have a feeling Tracy's going to feel pretty guilty once she finds out that Sasha might actually be Luke's daughter. That's the kind of twist I can get behind. If only they could focus on some coherent storytelling long enough to make it work. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Oh, this is getting interesting. So now we're tossing around the idea that Sasha might be Leopold's daughter, just to set her up as the one who gets to inherit Serenity. Sure, why not? It makes as much sense as anything else in this chaotic show. I mean, it could be a way to get Cody his hands on the property he's been eyeing. But hey, that's just my 2 cents in this wildfire of nonsense. Now, for the love of all things GH, can we please stop pretending Sasha could be Luke's daughter? She dated Michael, who is Luke's great-nephew. I'm not sure how much clearer I can make this, but it's literally already been explained. And yet, people keep asking. Like, hello? Sasha being Luke's daughter is not even on the table, so can we stop with that wild speculation already? I mean, it's GH, and at this point, literally anything is possible. But if I had to choose between Robert or Luke being Sasha's father, I'd choose Luke, because, let's be real, Cody and Sasha are great together, and the whole cousin thing is a bit less icky when it's second cousins. Not that I'm advocating for it, but in some places, you can actually marry your second cousin. But honestly, I'm just hoping for a third option to come out of nowhere, because neither Robert nor Luke feels like the perfect fit. And seriously, can we get some emotional depth for Laura Collins? I fully expect her to be crying her eyes out in Monday's episode. She's been through so much already, and I just know it's about to hit her hard again. Speaking of relationships, can we talk about Michael and Willow for a second? As much as I've grown to like them together, I still can't help but miss Michael and Sasha. Their chemistry was off the charts, and this whole Willow-Drew storyline is just, well, happening, whether we like it or not. But mark my words, when Sasha and Michael finally have their heart-to-heart, it's going to tear apart all these current relationships and clear the way for them to reunite. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And then there's poor Lulu. When she wakes up and realizes she's missed almost 4 years of her life, well, I don't know how anyone's going to break it to her. She'll have to process that Luke, Bobby, and Dante have moved on. And then there's the whole thing about Rocco and Charlotte growing up. They're not kids anymore. It's going to be a lot for her to take in, and honestly, I'm just hoping she doesn't have a total meltdown when the truth hits. Gio is way too perfect. It's almost comically wild how flawless he is right now. I mean, we're so used to characters in GH having some glaring flaws that stir up drama or drive the plot, but Gio, he's basically a walking, talking teddy bear, like literally no flaws. I mean, come on, almost every character has their issues that somehow turn into major plot points. Christina confronting Ava about Sunny, classic example. It stirs things up, pushes the storyline forward. But with Gio, nah, he's just there. The only potential drama we're getting with him is his little conflict with Joss over Sunny. And even then, he handles it with the grace of someone who's never encountered a problem in their life. He's just this naive guy who doesn't quite get the whole social scene and kind of floats through it all. It's like the writers gave us a blank slate with a smile. I totally get why people are craving a bit more spice with Gio, though. I mean, Spencer used to be the drama king. He was a total diva, dishing out tantrums and causing all sorts of chaos. But now we have Gio, who's basically just happy to be here, cheerfully lifting everyone's spirits without any real ambition to cause a stir. It's like watching a golden retriever in human form, just wagging its tail and making everyone feel good. As for that whole father reveal coming down the pipeline, yeah, it's pretty obvious they're slowly building to it. His dad died in some sort of military conflict, and the way Gio talks about his parents, especially in that convo with Violet, has definitely raised some eyebrows. Loy's reaction to overhearing their conversation? Something's definitely up there. It's almost a given that his dad is someone already on canvas, though I really hope it's not Sunny. Please, not Sunny. But honestly, at this point, it's hard to say for sure. The whole thing is dragging out at a snail's pace, and it's getting painfully slow. Here's hoping they finally drop the reveal and give Gio something more to work with soon, because right now he's like the GH version of a golden retriever puppy with a backstory just waiting to make him interesting. To recap the Ethan saga, Holly dropped the bombshell that Ethan was Luke's son, and yeah, the primary motive behind that revelation was to throw a wrench in Luke and Tracy's relationship, and of course, to score some of Tracy's fortune. This wasn't a simple oops though. The paternity test, while necessary, was a mess. Holly had a hand in it, but Luke had to undergo it too, and when the results confirmed Ethan as his son, it set off a chain of reactions that forever shattered the Luke or Laura ideal. That bombshell revealed that Luke cheated on Laura in the late 80s, and that was huge for fans who had invested decades in Luke as Laura's soulmate. Many felt betrayed, and to this day, there's still a lot of anger over how that storyline played out. Fast forward to today, and we're staring down another paternity bombshell with Holly claiming Robert is Sasha's father. And yeah, if that's true, it would mirror Luke's betrayal of Laura exactly. Robert cheating on Anna with Holly? A near-carbon copy of Luke's infidelity. It's not lost on anyone that Holly still has some serious feelings for Robert, and that makes her claim about Sasha even more suspicious. Just like she manipulated the situation with Luke and Tracy, she could be playing a game here to wedge herself back into Robert's life and break up Robert and Diane while she's at it. As for that whole rigging the paternity test thing, yeah, that's classic soap foreshadowing. It's like they're setting us up for a major twist. Sasha's not actually Robert's daughter. This would be huge and lead to all sorts of questions about Ethan's paternity too, which, as you pointed out, could open up a whole can of worms. People would start wondering if Luke's accidental affair wasn't the only surprise paternity revelation in Port Charles. And of course, the fans' reactions are already kicking in. The no way, no how posts about Robert and Sasha are pretty much the same as the furious fans who flipped out about Luke's betrayal with Ethan. The anger over Robert cheating on Anna, especially with Holly, would be huge. Fans are not going to take kindly to the idea that their beloved Robert could have pulled a Luke. So yeah, this isn't just a coincidence. It feels like a very intentional callback to the past. And if Holly is lying or mistaken about Sasha's paternity, we're definitely heading into a revisiting of Ethan's paternity too. The drama that would unfold from this? Total chaos. But I mean, great chaos. There's definitely a lot of possibilities here for Sasha's father, and I'm all for the red herring theory. The idea that it's Robert feels a bit too obvious, so I'm really digging the thought of someone like Brennan being the father. It makes total sense. We've just met him, so the show needs to give him some serious ties to Port Charles. And what better way than to have him connected to key players like Anna, Robert, and Holly? Plus, if they wanted to add some intrigue to his backstory, a connection to Holly could really amp up the drama, especially if he has some unfinished business with her. Now, as for Frisco Jones, wow, that would definitely throw a massive wrench into Sasha's current life, especially her dynamic with Maxie. Imagine the tension between them, knowing that Sasha betrayed Felicia, Maxie's mom, who has always had a pretty rocky history with the Jones family. The potential for an argument scene is almost too good, especially with Emma and Christina in the mix. If Anna has to step in as a moderator, that would be a role reversal, wouldn't it? She's normally the one who's on the receiving end of all the emotional drama, but it'd be interesting to see her as the one trying to keep the peace. Then there's the theory that Leopold Taub might be Sasha's father. Ooh, now that's intriguing. Remember that shady little moment when Sasha swapped her hair with Cody's during that illicit DNA test? Yeah, that had mystery written all over it. If they were cousins, they'd have matched on the test already. So it makes sense that Sasha could be related to someone else with a deeper connection to the estate. And Leopold Taub's estate coming to market is a pretty convenient coincidence. If Sasha is his daughter, she could have a legitimate claim to that property, which could spark some serious drama. It'd be a game changer for Sasha's storyline, especially with all the talk about legacy and inheritance. At the end of the day, it feels like the writers are keeping us on our toes by tossing in all these potential fathers. Whether it's Brennan, Frisco, or Leopold Taub, each option would bring something different to the table and shake up Port Charles in a major way. Personally, I'm hoping for a twist that nobody saw coming, but I'm also bracing myself for the possibility of a long, drawn-out mystery. Either way, it's definitely going to keep things interesting. Oh wow, first cousins can marry in New York? How? Charming. And let's not forget that Sasha and Cody didn't grow up together. So that magically makes it not creepy, right? Because apparently the absence of family bonding somehow erases all the weirdness. But sure, we'll just ignore that and chalk it up to some wildly sloppy writing. I mean, I was willing to overlook Mac and Cody, kind of, but there's something about Holly and Sasha that's just next level uncomfortable. I'm pretty sure the plot writers got confused about what counts as family drama and just took it way too far. And speaking of confusing storylines, remember when Sasha casually dropped that little nugget about Holly dragging her to Landview and leaving her with that Vickers guy? Oh, David Vickers, of course. But hold on, Holly was on One Life to Live. When exactly did that happen? Was she just hanging out in Landview, collecting relatives and wrecking lives in her spare time? What a plot twist, if only it made any sense. Oh my god, Christina is absolutely insane. Does she seriously think Ova pushed her out of the window? Like, seriously? It's Rick, of all people, who's actually making sense here and spitting out the real facts. She is out of her mind. Christina is the most manipulative, reckless, and idiotic sister in existence. Honestly, at this point, I might even dislike her more than Sunny. Every time Molly tears into her, I'm over here cheering. Christina is the definition of exhausting. She's a grown woman acting like a spoiled brat who never learned how to think past her own feelings. I'll admit, I wasn't thrilled when they recast Christina in the beginning. I really didn't like Kate as Christina. But now, she's got some serious grit, and you know what? I love it. She's totally unhinged, and honestly, she should be. I mean, she's a Corthinos and a Cassadine. Crazy's practically in her DNA. The previous Christina was too sweet, too innocent for my taste. I vaguely remember her talking to Felicia and maybe, just maybe, remembering that it was an accident. But knowing Christina, she'll rewrite everything just to avoid taking any responsibility. The way she spun her version of events with Rick, pure gold. As much as I don't agree with what Rick is doing, because, let's be honest, it's not gonna win him any points with Molly, I'm over Christina's antics. At every turn, she's out here making everything worse for everyone around her. She can't just shut up and think before she acts. It's all about her and her feelings. And can we talk about how she refuses to even call Irene by her name? Even after everything that went down, she still can't admit that the baby wasn't hers. Let's not forget, Christina full-on betrayed her sister, offered Molly something she couldn't do herself, and then, at the last second, yanked it away. And then, she had the nerve to judge Molly and TJ's relationship, while she's barely even got hers with Blaze off the ground. Not a smart decision in sight. Ever. I'm so sick of Christina at this point. She's completely unlikable and honestly unwatchable. The way she hijacked Sam's announcement, disrespected Rick, Molly, and TJ by calling their grandchild Adela instead of her real name. Ugh. I hope she pulls that stunt in front of Jordan, because Jordan will rip her a new one. I'm starting to wonder if Alexis might actually be a terrible mother. Rick was right. Molly is the miracle child here, and she is definitely the best of both her parents. Alexis is the reason her family is in shambles. Let's just call it like it is. She and Sam knew that surrogacy was a terrible idea, and yet they just kept quiet. Sure, it would have been an uncomfortable conversation. God forbid they actually discuss it like rational adults. But maybe, just maybe, their daughters wouldn't hate each other right now if they had spoken up. Just a thought. I vividly remember Alexis saying, "This is a bad idea," and guess what? No one listened. Shocking, right? There was even that one scene between Alexis and Sunny, where she was practically begging them to see that this was going to be a disaster. But of course, everyone ignored her. Classic. At the end of the day, though, Molly and Christina are the real architects of this family disaster. They both made the most questionable decisions, ignored all the warning signs, and refused to listen when people tried to tell them they were about to drive the family off a cliff. It's like they wanted the family to implode. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.